بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اتبع هداه إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, Allah Almighty, All Merciful, has blessed us with Ramadan and has allowed us to fast this month. Generally, it is not always encouraged to fast. There are certain times in which it is haram to fast, such as the two Eid, or when fasting will cause physical damage to you. In the second of those two circumstances, it may also be haram to fast. There are times in which it is disliked to fast, such as when traveling. If fasting is difficult in travel, one should not fast while traveling. Muhammad walked past a group of people. When he asked why they were gathered, he was told that someone had fainted because of fasting. Muhammad said, fasting during travel is not an act of worship that is acceptable to Allah. Obviously, in Ramadan, we must fast. It's mandatory for Muslims to fast in Ramadan, and this is one of the pillars of Islam. Allah made it mandatory upon us to fast during Ramadan. What if someone breaks their fast in Ramadan? If someone breaks their fast in Ramadan, it is either intentionally or unintentionally. If it is intentional, without any good cause, then they have to make up by repenting and feeling bad and sorry that they had committed such a crime and intending to never perform that crime again. And they are not allowed to eat or drink or break their fast or do any acts that break their fast for the rest of the day. One must then repeat a fast and remake that fast before the next Ramadan. So imagine if I drank during the daytime of Ramadan for no good reason, I have to repent, ask Allah to forgive me, and then I must repeat that day, make up that day before next Ramadan comes around. If I delay it after that, I have now committed another sin. Some scholars say that I must pay fidya on top of refasting those days. Okay. That's someone who broke their fast intentionally with no good reason. Someone who broke their fast unintentionally is obviously exempted, such as a woman if she goes on her period. Okay. What if someone who breaks their fast intentionally with a good reason? There are a lot of details here that have to be explained. That reason that made you break your fast can either be temporary or it can be permanent. If it is permanent, meaning we cannot see in the future that this reason would go away, such as if the reason is extreme weakness because of old age, or if it is some kind of disease or sickness that people rarely get cured from, such as diabetes, for example, then one does not have to repeat that fast. In fact, he can't repeat that day. Therefore, he does what is called fidya, which is feeding a poor person on behalf of each day that he misses. If, however, the reason is temporary, such as travel or a temporary illness or breastfeeding or pregnancy or a woman on her period, then one must make up those days. We'll look at the first of these reasons, which is travel. Okay. There are conditions for someone who is traveling that must apply to him before he can break his fast. First of all is the travel must be halal, meaning the intention of your travel must be to do something that isn't haram. If I travel to go and drink alcohol, or if I travel to go and commit a sin, and my intention for the whole travel is sin, it is therefore haram for me to break my fast while I'm on that travel, and I'm not allowed to do that, just as I can't shorten my salah and combine them, and can't wipe over my socks in the manner that someone who travels does. Next is the distance. You must travel the length of a day or night, 1 day and 1 night. Some scholars said that is about 70 kilometers. Scholars differ on how much that is, but the main idea is it must be more than the travel of a day and a night. That time or distance is measured from the moment you leave your city. If this is my city, this table here is my city, up to here, okay, and I'm traveling. My house is on the other side of the city. Between my house and the edge of the city is, for example, 50 kilometers. I don't count that when I'm looking at the distance of my travel. My travel starts from the moment that I leave the actual city, and I can no longer see any buildings or any houses around me. From that point, I can start breaking my fast, I can start joining my salahs, and I start counting the distance that I am traveling, whether I'm allowed to shorten my salah and break my fast or not. Next is how long you stay in the place that you arrive. Scholars differ on how long you have to stay in a place before you're considered someone who is not traveling. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah ta'ala, believes that there is no definite date, but it is the concept of traveling. As long as people consider you to be a traveler, you are still traveling. Some scholars said 4 days, 5 days, 15 days, they differ. That is travel. Next we have illness. If the illness that you have prevents you from fasting, a doctor, a trustworthy Muslim doctor comes to you, or even non-Muslim doctor, comes to you and says that fasting will damage your health and is bad for your health, then you don't fast. If fasting will delay you getting better for a reasonable period of time, you then do not fast. However, seeing as it's temporary, once you get better, you make up the days by actually fasting. Breastfeeding and pregnancy. Okay. If a woman is breastfeeding or she is pregnant and she doesn't get affected by fasting, and fasting isn't hard for her, and she doesn't fear that her child may be harmed by her fasting, she must fast and cannot break her fast. If, however, she feels for herself that her health will be damaged, or that her child's health will be damaged either by not getting enough sustenance or by her milk drying up and not having enough milk for the baby, then she is allowed to not fast, but she has to make up the days that she missed. She refasts them later on. Obviously, it's better for her not to fast if she has another means to feed her child and take care of her, but if she must, she can break her fast. That is pregnancy and breastfeeding. However, if a lady, some scholars said that this lady must, after she makes up her days or qada, she must also pay fidya for the days that she missed. Qada is when someone makes up the days that he missed after Ramadan, and fidya is when they pay money to take the place of that they have missed. Again, it's better to stay out of this difference here and to not break one's fast unless she has to. We ask Allah to accept our good deeds, to accept our fasting, and to bless us with goodness in this month and later on. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ah.